Alrighty, thank you, Orange Island. Welcome to the Modern Meeting, everybody. My name is Adam. I am a compulsive gambler. My
And I'm
last bet.
Jen.
Oh,
Oh shit! Redo it.
no, no, no. It's been a couple of
No,
weeks. You're a little rusty. Do you want to go first? Do you want? Can I?
no.
My name is Adam. I'm a compulsive gambler. My last bet, February 8th, 2022. In your defense, I had like a pause because I was losing my breath.
Okay. I wish you would take it out. And I'm
That's what
Jen.
she said.
Okay.
What a start. Let's go.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
I'm Jen, compulsive gambler. Last bet 10/16/2023.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good.
It's
I'm
been a
really, really good.
while.
Yeah, it's been a long time,
Yeah, I mean, not a long time, but it's literally, I mean, we haven't seen each other in a couple weeks.
which is a long time.
I know, I know. Yeah, you're right, you're right.
Sometimes, I mean, I was seeing you at least every week, sometimes twice a week for a little
True,
while there.
true.
A little brief
Um,
period.
so what's new? Like how's life? How's recovery?
Life is good, recovery's good,
Yeah.
there's always those crazy things like I hit a deer
Oh my God,
and
that's right.
yeah, and that sucked. But I'll tell you, I hit that deer and I
Wait,
was
are
like,
you
"Oh my
talking
God,
hold on. Are you talking quietly because you don't want to disrupt the rest of your household?
I don't want the dogs to bark."
Oh no. Where's Tim?
All right, give me 1 second. Let me
No,
go.
no, 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 no. But I mean, I don't know. It is you are quiet and you're
All
like
right.
noticeably like talking quietly.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me just go and
Okay.
see because I'm in a different part of the house. Just let me go check on
Yeah, yeah,
him.
yeah, no
I'm
worries.
sorry.
It's fine. We're keeping all
Okay.
this in. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay, so you're back now. You sound great.
Okay.
You sound almost too great. What did you do
Okay.
different? It's just the room?
No, so I put my left AirPod in. Also, before I had echo cancellation on and now it's off. Do you think
Okay.
that
Okay. Anyways, where were we? Um,
um I hit a deer.
right, right, right. So you hit a deer. I hit it. I hit a deer
Hmm.
like 20 years ago,
Did
but
you?
I want to hear about your deer. So when, where, how?
It's the silliest story, but so it was Good Friday, and the owners might know it's Good Friday is because I was doing an Easter egg hunt at work.
Mm-hmm.
So like normally I'm up super early on calls, but instead I got up super early, got all my stuff together, and I was driving into work. So it was like 5 something in the morning,
Mm.
and like five deer just ran across the road, and I slammed my brakes and I hit the very last one on its
You hit
tail
number
legs.
5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a big one or a small one?
No, it was a little one, and I got out to like check on him, and he ran away.
Oh, so you didn't even kill it.
No, but maybe he ran off to die.
True. That's true. I'm not trying to laugh. Oh man, yeah.
But
So how did
instead
it
of being,
total your car if you didn't
no, I
even?
didn't total it. My car's not
Oh,
totaled.
oh. I thought you said your car was in the shop or something.
It is. Didn't I send you a picture?
No.
So, so it just, I'll send you a picture later once I can figure out my phone. But so it just hit the front driver's side, like corner, like from the taillight down. It like ripped everything off.
Oh,
But
okay.
like, I'm in such a good place in my life that like, I call Tim and he's like, I'm like 2 minutes from my house. And he's
Mm,
like, perfect. Turn around, just go home. Now you get Friday off. And I was like, I have an egg hunt to do. And I just drove to work.
yeah. No, I mean it's a good point. Like, did you just hear that ding?
No.
I might have. Hold on. The fuck. Um. No, but you bring up a good point because it's like those are the types of situations where when we were in active addiction, who knows what would have happened? You know what I mean? Like you might
Right.
not have had the money to get it fixed, or like
And
it's
not even that, it's a Friday, like payday,
right.
and I have an excuse not to go to work.
Oh yes, that whole yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And you did
And
the
so
right thing.
like, yeah, and I was just like, fuck that. I'm going in. I love work. I love my job, and I got to do a super cool Easter egg hunt.
Yeah. Wait, so the adults did an Easter egg hunt?
Yeah, for like gift cards, $100 Amazon gift cards.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and it was like watching a bunch of children. It was chaos.
Oh my God, I can imagine. Hundred
It was
dollar
like the
Amazon gift card. I mean, come on.
right, and I just sat back. I watched people like shove people out of the way down the stairwell. It's like,
It was inside,
yeah,
and you hit all the eggs.
yeah. I hit them like our trash cans are the kind like the step trash cans. So like I tipped him on the lid, so you'd actually have to like step on the trash can, look up at it, like
Mm-hmm.
all different in like the back drawer of like the printer drawers, like
Mm.
that hold the different size papers. Just all over. It was fun. It's
That's
fun to watch.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, was it last time we spoke that we were talking step four, and we said we were going to do step four,
Yeah.
and then we stopped talking about it because people started giving us shit for not doing step four, so we wanted to
Yeah.
just like not talk about it until we started doing it.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I started it, and guess what I realized, Jen, very quickly.
What'd you realize,
I
Adam?
mean, you know what I realized because we've talked about this, but I have been doing step four this entire fucking podcast because the cold opens are step four. Step
Yeah.
four is doing a fearless financial moral inventory. And so what I've been doing is, so what I've been doing, we all know what I've been doing if you're a modern meeting listener. But so when I really started doing step four and I was looking at the white book and I'm talking to Ken and he's like, so now what I want you to do is just talk about everyone that you hurt, everyone that hurt you, and just pretty much recap, tell your story. And I'm like, so I'm just gonna
Yeah.
copy and paste the cold opens?
And literally, like when I talked to him, sort of like about possibly like assisting me do step four, and he was saying that to me, I was like, I need to call Adam because I feel like he's doing it. Like I
Yeah.
feel like he's already doing it.
Yeah. So hello, everyone who's been giving me shit. Step four is pretty much done. The only things I need to add are like the stuff that I don't feel comfortable talking about on a podcast right now. You know what I mean? But so
Yeah.
it's good news essentially. Um, but I will say that through all of this over the last couple weeks, I've realized that I still one of my big character defects is like resentment and needing to be right. And what's that famous line that people like me always say, like when we're proven right down the road? I take no pleasure in saying that I was right, but I was right. The bottom line
Yeah.
is I do take pleasure. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so, but I know that like it's not necessarily a good or a bad thing, but like it's not how I want to live my life.
Yeah.
So like, what do I do?
It's super tough. And that's, we talk about working on our character defects, and I have a lot. And sometimes, I know it sounds like an excuse, but I'm like, this is what I've done, what I've known my entire life. And
Yeah.
so like it's like or like trying to teach yourself a new language, but you're still gonna like naturally speak the one that is dominant to you, right?
And it's not even about like, not being resentful because, you know, people tell us and the literature says not to be resentful, but it's essentially because it's just that's one piece of the puzzle that is going to make you feel better because it's a universal certainty. It's there's no room for debate that like if you're spiteful, that's bad for you. If you're a
Yeah.
bigot, that's bad for you. If you're irritable, that's bad for you. If you're resentful or if you always need to be right, that is bad for you.
Yeah. But and I don't know who said it, but there is a quote out there that's like, you know, the biggest problem that people have is they try to live up to the story that they tell people. So like
Mm,
someone says like, who are you? What do you do? And especially in like recovery, you come out and you're like, I'm impatient, I'm irritable. And so even though you're working on those things, because you constantly tell people I'm impatient and I'm irritable, it's going to make you impatient and irritable.
oh,
So
for
it's really
sure.
it's one of those things where like when we're talking about working on our character defects, like I don't know what's the right thing. Like, should I be working on them and sort of owning up to them in like meetings and stuff like that? Or is that something that I should be doing on my own time And in meetings, say I'm working on my character defects. These are, you know, the things that I really like about my, not character defects, but character pros, I guess. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just an interesting way to think of it.
No, and so one thing that I've observed, I'm already, I'm in the early stages of step 4, even though I'm actually not. It's pretty much done. But the stuff that I have been doing, I found a pattern already, and the pattern is, and it's something that we've talked about several times on the Modern Meeting, is that I don't act. I just talk. I don't follow through. I say I'm going to do it, and then I don't do it. And so that is, to your point, I've been trying to. The only time I want to speak at meetings right now is if I really have something that, like, I need to get off my chest,
Mm-hmm.
right? If it's something that's going on in my life, or if it's like a genuine thing that happened to me that I can share that I know. But if those days of me going in there and really having nothing to say and then just kind of talking to talk, I'm not
Yeah.
doing that anymore
Yeah.
because that's just feeding the ego, right? Because even though I'm talking and I'm looking in the room and people are nodding their heads or people, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, because that's not
Y-
real, and that
yes.
fuels my ego, right?
Yes. And I have absolutely been there where I'm like, okay, it's my turn. And I just feel like I need to say something. So then I start talking about this story that I never would have said if I wasn't at a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't have been thinking about it. It wouldn't have been on my mind. And like, as it gets closer and closer to my turn, I'm like, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? And it's those meetings that, like, I walk out of there and I'm like, I don't even know why I shared that.
Yeah,
Like, there was no gain from it, anything there.
for sure. Yeah, no, and that's why it's like, what I'm trying to do is, as I work through the steps is, you know instead of that good speech in a meeting, how about I go to a Wednesday night meeting and just go?
Yeah.
Maybe I meet someone new, because if there's one thing that I think will never get old, and if there's one thing that I always want to do, it's I want to tell my story, right?
Yeah.
I want to tell my story to someone who hasn't heard it. That's
Yeah.
why, when I went to that Sunday morning meeting in Mass last week, it was awesome because I got to tell my story to a room full of 25 people that had never heard it.
Yeah.
But, when it comes to some of this other stuff in Tuesday night, you know, the last couple of weeks I have had stuff to share. But if I don't have something to share, I think I need to just sit and listen. And then the next day and the day after that and the day after that, fucking accomplish something,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Kind of gives yourself like a purpose, right? To get, like, to utilize the meetings as sort of a way to see perspective and really listen, and then just do the work so that the next time you're at a meeting you have something sort of to build off of.
Well, yes, 100%. And it's also, words do not equal results.
Yeah.
Actions equal results. And
Oh,
I'm
I need
looking.
to write that like above my mirror.
Yeah, I'm not going to get to where I need to get by talking,
Yeah.
even if I am on a roll or I'm fucking writing something down and reading it and it's great. I'm going to get places with action, with following through on things, however small they are, right?
Yeah.
That's the only way that we're going to keep moving forward.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right, we'll be right back. Hold on, I got to let the cat out.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go outside, you fucking idiot. And we're back. So, like we said at the top, it's episode 26. This is part 2 of my conversation with Noah. I got to hear from you. What did you think of part 1?
So I listened to it 3 times. Um,
Oh.
but I was really excited for this one
Mm.
because I've heard so much about him, and I knew that it was gonna like paint such a picture of like your life,
Well,
right?
yeah, and like that's what I'm trying to do with this podcast is like I'm trying to build a narrative. I'm trying to build a story. Like I want people to invest in these characters I talk about. They're not characters, they're real people. And like,
Yeah.
so, for 24 episodes, we heard about Noah a lot. And now it's like, boom, he's here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I
Yeah.
think, I
No.
think he delivered. Like, I think he was great.
What was like your favorite part of it, like the interview with him? Like what part did like just really hit you?
Oh my God. So the biggest takeaway, um, not to give away anything that the listeners are about to hear, but I think my biggest takeaway from the first half was there was a lot more fun times, even while we gambled, than I gave credit for. And if
Hmm.
I really think and I listed all those brutal times, those miserable, sad times that I could think of and write down, I would say a large majority of them I was by myself and he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right. So, not saying that like it wasn't still absolutely like two maniacs enabling each other, but a lot of the times it was two friends like doing a lot of fun shit
Yeah. Like just
and traveling.
living it up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
traveling, seeing the country, meeting people, eating good food, drinking good wine. Like it was, you know, it was there was a lot of good times. You know what I mean? And so that was my biggest takeaway. And then obviously just the fact that like we hadn't talked about certain things since it happened.
Yeah.
And that is that is a combination of me being afraid to
Hmm.
and Noah being one of those people that just kind of pushes forward, whether that's good or bad for him. I guess we'll find out
Yeah.
as he
But
goes along.
so do you think that like this was constructive in like your overall relationship?
Uh, uh that's a great question. I think so. I think if there's one thing that I'm 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 getting from Noah lately, it's that I'm starting to gain his respect again.
Hmm.
And you know, I think I lost his respect a while ago. Even when we were still quote unquote good,
Yeah.
I there's no way he could have looked at me and thought, he's always thought of, he's always been very kind and said that, I'm smart and I'm talented, blah 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 blah, whatever. But like now, I think through my actions
Yeah.
and through you know through recovery, like I'd like to think that like I'm I'm a better person in his eyes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm also, I don't ask him for anything,
Yeah.
besides the occasional job, which he offers. But I used to hit him up for money. I used to do, when I was gambling, like I would do all kinds
Yeah.
of shit. I would have the nerve to reach out to people I hadn't talked to in years,
Yeah.
and I would sit there and craft the perfect text and ship it off to someone. And he was one of those people.
Yeah.
And towards the end, he just kept saying no, to his credit, because he knew where the
Yeah.
money was going.
No, but like the fact that like you had this interview with him, it's really exciting to me because I think that as addicts, like we avoid those face-to-face conversations
For sure.
all the time. And even when we're like, oh yeah, like I guess I was not the greatest friend or I was kind of shitty there. Like we never sort of give any indication or any room for them to just be like, no, actually it's way bigger than that,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so instead they take these like little like half-assed apologies along the way and they're just like, all right, well, I'll put some distance there, but they're apologizing. But when you can sit down and talk with them and really be like, I see the bigger picture now and I can own up to that picture, like, you know, it's one of those things that you can't describe to anyone until you do it.
Right.
But in this program, those conversations have like altered my life forever.
For sure. Yeah. And I think that, when once we got into the conversation, I almost forgot that we were like recording a podcast, and that's a good
Yeah.
thing. And
Yeah.
I will say this.
But you can totally tell that. Like,
Oh my God, you should. I cut out some of the beginning of it because we were both just kind of awkward and like
yeah,
it was funny.
yeah.
But yeah, we got into a groove, and you'll see in this part that everyone's about to hear. So so
I'm
far, so
dying.
so far when I obviously record and then I edit the modern meeting, every single time that I've like cringed or like felt so uncomfortable at like the rawness of something, it's always been something that people reach out to me after and they're like, dude, like, thank you for that, or that was intense, or that was so
Yeah.
relatable.
Yeah.
I felt this way like almost the entire second half of this conversation. Like it was it, I don't even know what the word is like, but as I was listening to this, I felt disgusted at times at myself. Then I felt so like nostalgic, and then I felt so like hopeful for the future, and then I felt so embarrassed. Like there was just a range of emotions.
Yeah.
But
No, I mean, good.
no, go ahead.
No, I totally get that. I mean, I have to say that for the people that I know that know about the podcast and listen to it, like the most feedback I received was the episode that I talked about the potential of sleeping with people for money.
Yeah.
And that was so hard for me to listen to back.
And she brings it up again. I love it.
I know. But it was
No,
so
but
uncomfortable listening to it back, and I like instantly regretted it, and I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, I hope nobody listens to this episode. And I was getting people like that, like one of my friends told one of our other friends, and I never did. And they were like, I like that was so cool to hear you say that. And I was like, cool. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I want to put a pillowcase over my head.
no, but I mean, honestly, and that's like, I mean, that's kind of what we're doing is we're just kind of laying it all out there, and people are going to judge. People are going to think whatever they're going to think about us. But at the end of the day, I think we're doing the right thing.
Yeah,
You know,
I think so
I
too.
really
Yeah.
do. So with that being said, yeah, you're about to hear a lot of honesty, and it's the thing too about this is that, like we mentioned, I think me and Noah mentioned it earlier, but whether you're an addict or not, like this episode and last episode, above anything, like this is about friendship, right? This is
Mhm.
about the peaks and valleys of friendship, and how you know at the end of the day you know how I feel about like a higher power, and whatever God's plan is, that's God's plan. And
Yeah,
Noah and I were put in each other's lives, and we're staying there no matter what, you
I love
know,
that.
and it's awesome. So yeah, so here, without further ado, I always say that every week, but there's not, what else are you supposed to say?
I don't know.
Anyways,
And now,
and now here is part two of our conversation with Noah. Yeah, here it is.